Well, Kyle Sandilands has provided a shocking update on his health this morning after receiving a brain aneurysm diagnosis.
Yeah, let's catch up on this. Here's our entertainment editor, Peter Ford. Hi, Pete. What has Kyle had to say?
Yeah, the day's not off to a good start when the doctor says to you, I've got bad news and even worse news. So the bad news began with this brain aneurysm that needs to be addressed. And one of the hopes was he could have keyhole surgery. Now, because of where the aneurysm is placed, that's not an option. So the only two options are to either have nothing done and you are living with a time bomb that could go off at any point, or you have to have the really dramatic surgery, which will leave very severe scarring, also will require an enormous amount of time away from the workplace for recovery. So he has to decide over the weekend which of those two options he will take. Now, the even worse news is the discovery of a second aneurysm, this time in his heart. And he went to a series of doctors and specialists yesterday. So here's a little of what Kyle said this morning on air.
Hey, how'd you go with the surgeon yesterday?
Oh, yeah. I left there with some more questions than when I went in. Remember how they were going to thread it through a vein?
Yeah.
And stick a little coil in there? Well, mine's the wrong shape for a coil.
Oh, so they can't do that?
No, so they have to drill a hole through my skull the size of a drinking glass, pull that bit of skull out, and go into the brain.
So, yeah, Kyle kind of cuts to the chase and gets pretty brutal when he describes things, but still finding some humour in amongst it all. So clearly something has to be done. Apart from that, I hope that Kyle also takes this as a wake-up call. He admits quite openly that he doesn't live a great lifestyle in terms of diet and exercise. He has 13 lattes in the course of every morning before midday. So that sort of stuff really should stop. This is a great wake-up call for him, and of course we all wish him the best.
Yeah, we do. And he said that he's going to take the weekend to think things through and then try and sort of come to some sort of decision. It's a big decision you have to make, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah. Wishing him all the best. Pete, Liam Payne's girlfriend, Kate Cassidy, has spoken for the first time since the singer's death. Yeah,
she's remained totally silent in that period since Liam died, and of course there was a lot of attempts to get her to talk, to tell us how she was feeling, and clearly she's been feeling terrible. And she's actually said that, you know, I wasn't to blame for his death. And why some people have said that, because she did leave him in Buenos Aires on his own. Little was she to know what the outcome would be, of course. And she left for the most simple of reasons, and that is because their dog needed to be attended to. It was being minded. It had that arrangement was coming to an end, so she had to get back to look after their dog. You know, life provides us with some really bad outcomes sometimes. So, yeah, hopefully she can move forward, and probably a good thing that she kind of put that out there, and maybe people will back away and accept that something quite simple had a tragic outcome.
All right, let's change gears, Pete. Sarah Michelle Gellar has weighed in on the Buffy reboot.
Yes, so we spoke about this the other day, and it looked like it's a goer. There are various people attached to bringing it back, including Sarah Michelle herself. But now there seems to be a question mark about it. She's addressed this by way of her social media. And the bottom line to it all is it looks like they've been working on the concept for some time. But she says very clearly, we won't be doing it unless we really believe we're going to get it right. So it does seem the motivation here is not cash. The motivation seems to be doing it in a way that is respectful to the series originally. So she's addressed this publicly on her social media.
Oh, cash can make it respectful.
It can help you make a decision. It can push you in a certain direction.
Yes.
Pete, as we move on to Lady Gaga, it looks like she's giving her fans exactly what they want. This is with this new song and video clip.
Yeah, Abracadabra it is. 17 million views so far on YouTube alone, riding high on the iTunes charts and Spotify. And if you hear the song, I mean, it's very much going back to the sort of music that we originally associated with Lady Gaga. Now, we spoke last year about the album, which we all loved, called Harlequin, but her real core fans loathed it, and it didn't move. So this is really putting her back on the top of the charts again. And of course, the album, Mayhem, is coming out very soon as well. So it looks like Lady Gaga is well and truly back in business.
Good stuff. Hey, Pete, we'll get back to you again shortly.